Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Today I'm going to do a quick video. I'm going to stop saying quick video because my video's never quick, but I'm going to do a small video on what I keep on my person when I'm inspecting the bees. So what tools I keep in what pockets. It's what I find useful to need a moment's notice. I'll also go through what's in my toolkit, which is this bloody great big thing over here. Just because it can be useful knowing what other beekeepers keep nearby in case they need it. Right, so I'm going to get my suit on and then we'll go through it. The first protocol is what do I wear? So I wear full-on bee suit. This is a sting-proof one from Oldcastle Farms. It was quite expensive compared to the others, but it's done me really well. And I've broken it a few times because of my liability, and they've repaired it for free. So I think that's really good customer service. I wear these, so these are wrist guards. That's because this bee suit only has like Velcro. And before I got these, I found that bees were making their way into my sleeve through the gap here. So I wear these just to add an extra bit of protection to my wrists. And finally, I use nitrile gloves. I used to use biodegradable ones, but I found that they started to denature in the sun, so when they were left in my car for too long, the whole pack would start to go off, and then I'd put them on, they'd plasticised, and they'd just snap and break all the time. So I've gone back to normal nitrile surgical gloves, which are really good, and you can dispose of them after you've finished at an apiary, so it reduces the chance of disease passing from apiary to apiary. I don't like the fact that they don't biodegrade and can't be recycled, but unfortunately you have to use what you can get, really. So that's what I use. As you can see, this is what I keep on my person is the torch. You've already seen that before. I always keep at least one queen cage on me, just in case I see the queen and I need to pop her in the cage, just keep her out of the way. I always keep my marking receptacle. I think it's called a queen immobilizer. I can never remember what the real name for it is. But yeah, I think I've shown you that before, but I always keep that in this pocket. And finally, my queen catcher, which is this little tubey thing, which I've shown you before as well. These get used all the time, probably every single visit that I go to the apiary, I always use these. Probably not that one every single time unless the queen's not marked, but definitely these two, because if I see the queen I always pick her up, I always cage her so I know exactly where she is, and I can be a bit more relaxed when it goes to inspecting the hive. So that's pocket number one. Pocket number two, I have a multi-tool, which is some pliers. It also has a saw and it has a knife, and I think it has a toothpick as well, although I've never used it. It has a fishing line and a descaler for fish. Anyway, and a bottle opener. That's interesting. I can have a beer. Anyway, either way, I mainly use it for the pliers and the knife. I very rarely use it for anything else. I chose this one in particular because the knife is pretty large. But now I've said that, I can't get the knife out because it's stuck. So I'm going to have to clean this at some point. Also in here is a jet lighter. It's good if your smoker goes out. You can get a lot of heat going down the smoker really, really quickly. So it's good for getting going again. Also has a little cap on top, so it means I don't set fire to myself, which is also really positive. And also very likely to happen if it was me. In the arm pockets, I keep the colours of the different queens. So I've got silver if it's one of mine, or if I'm not too sure on what the age is and there's no mark on it, I do silver, just to say to myself, right, this is probably old, something that needs replacing. Red was last year, so I'm probably going to put this back inside my tub this year. And this is the green one. This is what I'm going to be using this year for the rest of the year. I store them upside down, so the ink is constantly going towards the nib, because there's nothing worse than a dry nib when you go to mark something, and a Sharpie, because it's always good to write on the top of boxes. And I think that's all I've got on my person, really. Apart from my keys, but you know. Another thing that you should always have on you at all times is a hive tool. I usually go for two. So I always carry 2 hive tools on me because of my liability, and I forget where I put them in the apiary. I'm walking around the apiary and I've no idea where the hive tool is, so I've not got it on that side, can't see it around me. I get the other one from the other side, and it's just really quick. It means that I can just keep moving on instead of stopping and wandering around aimlessly trying to find everything. Next, I'm going to go on to what I keep in my car and what I keep inside my beekeeping box. This thing. So this is everything I keep in my car. I keep a box of fuel for my smoker. I've made this from just cardboard boxes. All you do is just cut it in strips, curl it up really tightly, and then put some masking tape around it just to hold it steady. It means you can just pop it in like that, or light it in the bottom, pop it in, and then blow it a few times, and it should start going pretty fast. So I'll keep a good supply of that, and newspaper as well. I'll show you why I use newspaper in another video, but it's always good to keep track of newspapers. I keep an old pillowcase that has seen better days because I keep dropping it on the floor and standing on it. A jet lighter, again, this one's better than the small one. You can get a bigger flame on it, and I can usually get a good flame all through the length of my smoker. So that. And then this is a box. It's dirty on the outside, probably quite dirty on the inside, to be honest. Yeah, it's not looking great. This is where I keep my hive tools. This is full of caustic soda. I think you call them soda crystals in supermarkets and stuff. And in here I have all my hive tools and anything that is going to be touching the bees from each hive directly. So what I do is pull them out, clean them, and inspect them for any sort of guff. But that one looks pretty sharpish and pretty clean. It's good. I also keep this. So these forks are good for when you are doing sacrificial drone brood. I'll show you that in another video at some point, but it's always good to keep this nice and sterilised as well. Keep a scrubber just to make sure that I can clean anything that looks particularly dirty. And then I've got vast amounts of hive tools of different kinds. So inside my box, this is a bit overkill. So I've got one this size just because I've got so many bees, and it's really useful just to have something of this size to carry everything in. Because I'm constantly moving back and forth between different apiaries, and if I was to haul it all by hand, it'd be a nightmare. So mostly what this is just full of spurs or little bits and bobs that I don't feel necessary that I need to keep on my person all the time. So I've got masking tape. I've got bungee cord in case I need to take any nukes or anything like that. Spare entrance blocks. Spare one of these. I'm going to start selling these now because I've had a few people asking me where I get them from, and whenever I tell them where I got them from, they can never find the thing. So I'm going to start selling these now. Afterbite. So this stuff's really good if you get stung. Just dip it where the sting is, especially if it's a particularly nasty sting as well. It smells of cat wee. Yep, whew, that'll wake you up. Got this when I'm grafting. This is a small Chinese grafting tool. I'll just see if I can come closer and show you this. I'll show you this if I ever do any queen rearing videos. But it's just a piece of wood and a very, very, very slight piece of plastic. Very, very loose. I'm just pushing it like that. That's all it is. If I ever do any grafting and do a video of that, I'll show you how I use it. But for now, you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, all this stuff is excess to what you need for the most part. I've just collected stuff over the years, and it's stuff that I find useful. Like WD-40, I use a lot of ratchet straps. It's very useful to just give it a quick blast. Although this looks like it's running out. all the colours of the rainbow in paint pens for all the different years of bee. Got some more Sharpies in there just in case. Some hand wipes, because it's always good, because this is a very sticky business. So it's always good to have some. Secateurs, because nature likes to get in the way. A very sharp knife that is quite heavy bladed, so I can hack through things if needs be. I've used this more actually to cut comb out of a frame than anything else really, but it is definitely sharp. And a bee brush. These are very useful. These ones with natural fibres I find are actually worse than the ones with plastic fibres, just because the bees can get caught in this. They're more readily caught in the natural fibres compared to the plastic fibres. And finally on this level is a shed load of gloves, because the cardboard box takes up a load of space. So just grab them and throw them in here. Yes, there's 3 levels to this thing. There's loads more queen cages. A stack of them, even some in there. And this is a different type of queen cage. So if you see a queen on the comb and you are wanting to know where she is, or you want to stay where she is, use one of these and you press it into the comb. Let's see if I can find one. So say you saw the queen walking around here and you wanted to make sure you knew where she was. Put that over the top of her and you just press down like that. It creates a nice little cage for her. She can't escape, but she's still got room to move, and she's got some cells to lay in if that's the case. And sometimes you can trap some worker bees in there sometimes, so they'll look after her. These are really good for just making sure you know where the queen is inside the hive. Generally these days I kind of just take the queen out and put her in a queen cage, because it's easier for me to just see that and go, right, okay, there you are. This is for flicking stings out. This was originally given to the allotments when they were starting to get stung, and it has little instructions on how to scrape out the sting with my amazing designs. Some more masking tape and another lighter. This one's not particularly jetty, but it does get down into the bottom of the smoker, which is where you want the flames to start really. Another torch, another set of pliers and knife, and painkillers, because when you get stung it hurts, and antihistamines as well, because sometimes you can really swell up. So I've got lots of these just in case. I've also got another afterbite as well. Here's something that's useful. You may have seen me introducing queens into hives in one of the other videos. When I don't use twigs, I use matchsticks. I've only got 4 matchsticks left, and these are good for if you want to check for any sort of disease. I'll show you that another time. Loads of elastic bands, because they really come in when you do cutouts, or if you're trying to transfer one frame size to another one. You cut it out the frame and then you use these to secure it in place before the bees start waxing it all up. And loads of straps as well, they're really useful. And I think that's everything in this side. Oh, and finally, newspaper is always useful. Again, I'll explain that another time. Some fuel. So the majority of the bottom of this is filled with smoker fuel, because there's nothing worse than your smoker going out and not having any fuel. So it's very useful just to have stuff that you can throw in. So I use bits of cardboard or those rolls that I showed before, and this cat litter. It's fibrous rather than clay, and it burns really well. Well, it actually burns quite poorly, but it smokes really well, and it creates a nice cool smoke that lasts forever. And finally, a dummy board. So these are very useful to keep on hand in case you need to take a frame out of a hive and you don't have a replacement frame. If I saw a hive over there and say I saw it wanting to swarm, so some queen cells, etc., what I'd want to do is take the queen out and some brood and some food. I've shown that in another video as well, and I'd put it in one of my nukes over there. If I didn't have 3 frames to put back into, or 4 frames to put back into that hive, I'd push all the frames together and then I'd put this on the end. What it does is it makes the space where the brood box is smaller until you can get some more frames to replace it. The bees see it and they go, oh, this is the wall of the hive. and then they carry on. And then the space in between this and the actual wall is just ignored mostly, unless there's a massive flow on and they need the extra space to build comb. This is just a stopgap most of the times. You do need to replace them with framed foundation or just comb. I'll probably do a more in-depth thing with this at some point, but yeah. So that's everything I keep in though. I always keep one of them spare, loads of fuel, always need lots of fuel just in case. And then the rest is medication, knives and torches, and queen cages really. I also keep these as well, so these are little coloured pins, so these are useful if you want to mark something. So if you see something where you think it's a bit dodgy, say a bit of disease that you think, so like say I saw some chalk brood, it's not something that is particularly deadly to a hive or infectious for other hives, but I want to keep an eye on it, I would take one of these and I'll just put it where I'd seen a few cases of, like on top of the top bar. So say I saw some chalk brood here, whereabouts it was hit on the actual frame, I'd find out where it is and then put a pin down and push it down with my hive tool. And that means that next time I can come and see if there is still signs of chalk brood there, or if it's grown bigger or worse. And it's a good way of logging things without having to write it down. So it's quite useful in that respect. But I think that is everything that I keep in my car toolbox. Obviously, different people keep different things. Just because I've got it doesn't mean that I'm 100% right. It just works for me. I think that's something that you need to do. You need to find what works best for you. Go through your hives, etc., and then have a think afterwards. But yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it made sense. I hope I didn't waffle too much. And I hope it was a quick video for once. Oh! So I'll see you later. Bye bye.